Good morning everyone. Welcome to Banao Bharat's Trading for Living Monday live session. Seems to be a early morning breakout today in the markets after debt ceiling reconciliation in the US. Over the weekend on Friday, US markets have performed exceedingly well. In line with those news and events, it was kind of expected that Monday, even in our Indian markets, there is going to be some positive opening, and accordingly we are seeing about I would say around 100 points positive opening. In the very first candle itself, Nifty makes a high of 18,715. This first candle high happens to be the breakout level, and we need to take into context last week's gap up also. Last Monday also we had a gap up, and after the gap up, that was more significant gap up, and after that gap up we didn't see some kind of follow up buying. So markets just stayed wherever it was for Monday and Tuesday, and from Wednesday onwards we started seeing some kind of a downward drift. It was not a massive sell off, but there was definitely a downward drift on Wednesday and Thursday, and on Friday we could see it took a support of Thursday's low, and from there on it tried to make a comeback, but again by the end of the day Nifty had again come back and closed at around 18,633. Today Monday morning, one more gap up. So second week on Monday we are seeing the gap up, makes a high of 18,705 in the opening candle. This gap up happens to be the once again the breakout level, and currently trading at 18,725. So will this gap up sustain or not is what we need to wait and watch. What we have to keep in mind is another gap up high of 18,742 on Nifty, which happened on the last week. So that signifies a kind of a top now, 18,742. If that is taken out convincingly today and stays above that and closes above that, then we can say yes, this week we are going to see some good upward movement. And on the Bank Nifty chart, the point to remember is last week's breakout high of 44,525, currently trading at 44,380. Last week also Bank Nifty, Monday and Tuesday, it was kind of on the higher side. It gapped up and moved sideways for 2 days and made a high of 44,525, and after that from Wednesday onwards we could see the downward drift in Bank Nifty also. So it went until 43,861. From 44,525 we saw the last week making a low of 43,861. From there on, after the expiry on Thursday, on Friday morning it takes a support at 43,950, and from there on bounces back, but again towards the end of Friday session it comes down and closes at around 44,074. Today one more attempt at crossing the highs. It opens at around 44,350 and currently trading at 44,380. So both Nifty as well as Bank Nifty both have shown the breakout levels once again this Monday morning. Whether it will sustain from here on is what we need to wait and watch. Both have critical highs to be taken out. In case of Nifty it is 18,742, and in case of Bank Nifty it is 44,525. Watch out for these two levels on the weekly basis and then decide your further course of action. Definitely there are no sell levels nearby, but then these buy levels to be played or not to be played is a question, and according to us on an intraday time frame, when we see a buy level we have to play. Maybe if the conviction is not much, if you have to wait for 18,742, then at this breakout level of 18,715 you can trade about 25% of your positions, and once 18,742 is taken out, that is where you can trade the larger quantities, but that is on intraday basis. And there is an interesting observation for our weekly chart also. Let me just go through that. For the settlement, how is this settlement doing? Well, for this settlement 18,742 happens to be the resistance. So it is very clear, last week it makes a high and it does not sustain, just slowly drifts down. Friday makes a comeback attempt, again towards the end it closes slightly lower. So that being the case, today it is making one more attempt to cross over 18,742. Will it happen or not? Only the time will tell. But until then, as per the past data analysis, in this kind of a setup, we are in upward pattern and pattern number 1 to 1. So in this kind of upward setup, whenever the previous gap up and breakout fails, then that acts as a resistance, and probably in this case also it might act as a resistance on a weekly basis. This I am not talking of on intraday basis. On intraday basis it might still cross over 18,742 and still go slightly higher, may not be too high, but at least on intraday basis it will not give much loss if it crosses 18,742. But after having crossed any resistance or breakout levels, market tends to go in that direction for some more points. So another 20-30 points up to 18,760, 18,770 might be there even on a weekly if it cuts. So even if it goes another 20-30 points, we will not know whether to sit long or start initiating the short positions. My view is wait for, even if you are taking a weekly positions, take positions slightly out of the money options, either on the call side or on the put side. And I would say, like, you can short 18,800 or 900 call options. Once it crosses 18,742, slightly be away from the breakout or resistance levels. This is based on our data patterns on a weekly basis. For this Thursday expiry, 18,742 will act as a resistance. But how do we take a position when we are sitting at 18,742? My view would be, instead of directly going fully long or fully short, it would be better if you take some short positions in calls slightly away from the market. So that would be 18,850 or 18,900, and then you can start managing the positions if it starts coming to that level. So that is my view on Nifty options for weekly positions for this coming 4 days. Bank Nifty for the 4 days, let us see the 2 hours chart. What is happening in 2 hours chart? The same setup is there even in Bank Nifty also, the same upward trend pattern with pattern number 121. In this case, this high of 44,525 will act as a resistance for this week. So Bank Nifty on an intraday time frame, whenever there is a breakout, it might cross the breakout levels and go up to this 525, where people playing on a weekly basis might start taking a short positions. So there may not be big push from 44,525. Yes, from there also it can go slightly higher, maybe another 100 points higher, maybe up to 44,600 or 650. But you need to be prepared to, like, sit through your next 3 to 4 days in your short positions, because this high what we saw, the breakout and high which was not sustained, will mean, like, definitely there is going to be resistance at 44,525. So please note these two things. On an intraday basis, we are once again on a breakout level in case of Nifty at 18,715 and in case of Bank Nifty at 44,350. These two on an intraday basis, both are at the breakout levels. But when it comes to positional trade for this weekly expiry options, if you have to see, then check out the last week's high, which is, like, 18,742 on Nifty and 44,525 on Bank Nifty, and both of these highs are showing as resistance in my setup. So because it is showing as resistance in my setup, I wouldn't be too aggressive in my buying on intraday basis also. We are not very far away from intraday basis with respect to the last week's high. We are very close to that. So I would take, if I was to trade this intraday positions based on the Monday morning breakout on the first candle, then my approach would be to take about 25% on the long side. So that is with respect to Nifty as well as Bank Nifty for this week as well as intraday charts. Now let us also see some of the other stocks other than the indexes. Let us today look into some of the pharmaceutical stocks, Aarti Industries, is at the resistance of 524. Watch out for 524. If it comes, then maybe we are seeing some amount of sell off from there. Apollo Hospital, it is continuing its up move. It is in a good upward pattern. There is no sell level or there is no fresh buy level in this stock as of now. We are seeing weekly chart, so this is the chart which will hold good until Friday. So Monday to Friday chart it is. In terms of indexes, I have told before, when I see 2 hours chart for index, it will be for Friday to Thursday, but when it comes to the stocks, it will be for Monday to Friday. So this is Apollo Hospital, currently in the uptrend, trading at 5011, but there is no fresh buying at these levels. Auro Pharma also in the buy level. Today it is trading at 666. We have seen the lows of 587 where there might be some selling coming up, but this is continuing with the upward movement of last week, so there is no fresh buying happening yet. Wait for the fresh buying levels. When you see fresh buying levels, you can continue to go long in Auro Pharma also. Biocon has slightly different pattern. Of course, it is not doing very great. It is in downtrend pattern. Last week it had closed at 249 and currently made a low of 235 on Friday. Looks like I think it has made a low of 235 on Friday. There was some kind of a severe gap down on Friday. This was on 2nd June. Yes, on Friday there was a gap down. From there on it has started pullback. Whether this pullback will sustain or not, we need to wait and watch. For it to enter into a buy mode, it has to cross over 259. Until then there is no buying, or it has to fall to 235 where some amount of support might come in. So if it comes to 235, there is a support, or if it goes to 259, there is a breakout. In between there is a wide range because of one freak gap down on Friday. So we can't do anything much about this stock. We have to just wait and watch the price action in between. So it might take a while for it to generate new buy or sell levels. Let us wait for it. This is Cipla, near to the resistance of 972, has been moving well in the recent past. From the lows of 910, it has come up to 972 and now it is facing some resistance. In the charts, there is not much volumes here. It is in a good uptrend, but this recent high of 972 could be a kind of resistance. Watch out and play accordingly. Divi's Lab again at the resistance level of 3572, currently trading at 3496. Oh, it's almost 70 to 80 rupees below the trading means below the resistance. So probably after making one high, it has fallen sharply and it is staying low now. 3496 is the current trading price. We are seeing the weekly chart for taking some trades between Monday and Friday. So this is, watch out for 3572 wherein there might be some resistance, or the next sell level is quite far off at around 3000. So last week it was like very good movement for all the pharmaceutical stocks. We are seeing most of the pharmaceutical stocks in uptrend except Biocon. This is Dr. Reddy, currently trading at 4661, cruising well, not much volumes and small price candles, but the trend is smooth and on the upside, but there is no fresh buying levels. Just because the stock is in uptrend, you can enter into a buy at any price, but provided you have a proper stop loss, or you have to wait for a new buying levels in an uptrend. Each uptrend will give multiple buyings and multiple selling levels. So ensure you are going through, you should know what is the trend you are in, and you should know where that trend might end, and if you are closer to that, then you can think of going long even without waiting for the fresh buy levels. Or if any stock is in no trade zone, then wait for the next breakout or the next reversals and then trade accordingly. We have plenty of stocks, so there is no dearth of stocks for us. On any time frame, any stocks will be doing either upward movement or downward movement or sideways movement. So if you want to do only long only strategies, then there is about 2500 stocks in National Stock Exchange and about 5000 stocks on Bombay Stock Exchange. even if you have to do only long only strategy, then just identify which are all the stocks that are breaking out based on certain setups and just keep entering into those stocks in smaller quantities. So in investment methodology, all that matters is like, how you manage your limited capital. Maybe you have 10 lakhs or maybe you have 1 crore. No matter what capital you have to consider that capital as a limited capital and you have to do allocation of your capital accordingly. So do not bet on any stock beyond a certain amount, not more than 5% on any stock. So if you keep doing that, then obviously like, you will have a fairly diversified portfolio, and some of the stocks, if it gives you good 10 times return, then it will average out all the losses of other stocks and small profits will be is what you will keep in your hand. So there is a methodology to play even for a longer term. Only thing is you should know that. You should know what all could happen and what would be the best approach with the kind of limited capital that we have, with the kind of limited time that we have, with the kind of limited experience and skill levels that we have, with the kind of limited information that we have. How do we make a living in stock market, either through trading or through investing? So this is what we actually give the perspective in our Trading for Living program. If you are liking the live content, do subscribe to the channel and also come back for daily live sessions. Apart from that, we also conduct the boot camps and the mentorship programs, coaching programs. If you are liking our methodologies, if you want to seriously learn some of the basic trend following concepts and also the market mechanics on how to really survive in stock markets, how to make use of our limited capital and limited time, and also make some decent returns out of stock markets, and what could be the game plan for creating generational wealth through stock markets. Stock markets can be your bread earner, can be your wealth creator. It can do multiple things. What is that you want to take up from stock market is left to you. It can be one of the asset class. So you can see it as you have the assets diversified into real estate, into gold, into other rental properties, and also stock market. Or you can see stock market as a complete setup for your day-to-day living, or you can see stock market for creating of generational wealth, or it can be combination of all of these things. So how much you want to dedicate yourself to the stock market depending on your current circumstances. Market has to offer a lot of things. It is an industry and it has got a lot to offer. What is that you want to take from the market is left to you. So how do you really view all of these things? How do you really make some kind of decisions in stock market? This is what we help you through the mentorship programs. So if you want to know more details, you can call us on the numbers that is being displayed, and let us keep doing this live sessions. And even through the live sessions, I keep giving a lot of information to the traders and the market participants. Before we wind up, let us once again look into the indexes where they are. They are not doing anything much, currently trading at 18,720 in case of Nifty. They are around the breakout levels. They have not fallen significantly, and at the same time they have not rushed and crossed last week's high also. So it is above the breakout of today and below the breakout of last week. This is with respect to Nifty. And Bank Nifty also, more or less, it is doing nothing much since morning. Yes, it showed a breakout, but it is not convincingly crossing. Currently trading at 44,356. 44,350 was our breakout level for today. It is just hovering around that. It went up to 44,392. There is no big fall from there, and there is no big push up also. So extremely sideways. Second week in a row we are seeing market gaps up and goes into the sleep mode. So this is with respect to today's markets. Let us once again come back tomorrow morning with a fresh perspective, and until then, have a profitable trading week. ahead. Let us meet tomorrow morning. Until then, Om Swasti.